Fix your glutes, fix your life. I love this article, so I want to share it with you. This one is from, it was in my New York Times feed. Fix your glutes, fix your life. I didn't appreciate the utility and paid for it. So in this article, it's an interesting graphic. What it's about is the author, Amy. She's writing about how she signed up, decided to go do a half marathon. And as part of it, she went from zero to running a half marathon and she got injured. She got shin injury. And as part of the recovery process, she went to a physical therapist, which, if you haven't been to a physical therapist, they're amazing. They're going to teach you so many things about your body. Hopefully, you can have a good one in the area. Ask for a recommendation is the best way to go do it. But what the physical therapist identified was that she had a weak posterior chain, which is weak glutes. That's the main thing that happened to her. And this happens all the time to runners. It happened to me, and I went through this a few years ago where my problem was that my glutes weren't activating. And what actually happened was that my psoas muscle, which runs in the front by your abs, was tight and it was pulling my hips in a way that my glutes actually couldn't activate. And so I went through a period of working to release that and stretch that, continue to do it. But I also went through a period of learning different glute strength exercising. I made a video about that. I'll post it up here. But this is what she talks about. She talks about her journey of becoming a runner and then running into almost immediately injury and weak glutes. And it can be frustrating. And I think a lot of people probably give up running when this happens to them because they don't like getting injured or they don't like finding out that things are sore and this or weak. And this happens because it is super common not to have strong glute muscles if you haven't worked on them. And you need your glute muscles to power you through running because if you don't, you're going to rely upon, you're telling your body you're going to go run and it wants to use the strongest muscles, which are your glutes, your big butt muscles. But if they're weak and you're still telling your body to run, it's going to say, okay, and it's going to rely upon your smaller muscles, your calves, your hamstrings, and those aren't meant to tolerate the loads, especially at a half distance. So this is how this happens. But it's a great article because she talks about this journey of fortunately going to a PT. She went to a great PT that gave her this diagnosis. She calls it frail as porcelain glutes, super cooper common for a lot of runners and for runners amping their distance. And went through a bunch of different regimens. So the PT prescribed squats and thrusts and lunges. Yeah. So I'll talk about that. You can do these with weights or without weights, but anyone you can do is really good. There's also the other thing she doesn't talk so much about that I had in my experience was that even in addition to strengthening your glutes, learning how to activate your glutes, so teaching your body that you wanted to start contracting the glute is useful. And I think I talk about it in my video as well. But, anyways, another good article that I wanted to share with you about how quite often glutes can be an issue for running. And if you fix them, she says you can fix your life, maybe, but you can definitely improve your running.